Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. This video is a follow-up to our last video, which was the incredible preview that we took at Julien's auction house in Beverly Hills. The auction happened and oh my God, some of the prices were unbelievable. In all, there were 5 outfits that came to close to, I guess, $250,000. And the biggest seller was, of course, the items that were in Scream between her and Michael. And actually, one of the pieces, Janet's Black Scream ensemble, sold for $125,000. And the estimate had been between $4,000 and $6,000. So, you know, it speaks volumes to how much people adore her. But also, she's a fashion icon. And so when you mix and merge the celebrity and the fame and, you know, the Jackson family heritage, for lack of a better word, it all adds up to big buccarinis. So we also saw that her Rhythm Nation tour jacket sold for $81,250. So she took in quite a bit, but the beauty is that a portion of it was going to the charity of her choice. And she cleaned her closets and she moved things forward. And hopefully we'll be able to see some of those pieces in museums and private collections if they're exhibited. So this week's episode is about things that are reminiscent of Janet Jackson's style. I'll start off with the mannequins because they're obviously right there. This one is a beautiful Japanese kimono with hand embroidery. There's silver and gold couching to illuminate some of the details. And it's a silk jacquard. And if you remember at the auction preview, there was a skirt that was kimono fabric. And I commented on it because I think infusing ethnic pieces with contemporary clothing can be a real strong personal fashion statement. And then on this side, she had a bondage dress, and this is a great example of a bondage dress. It's a silk satin with leather, and it's a piece that came from the Ebony Fashion Fair, which is in and of itself a really important fashion reference, because for many, many years, for decades, Ebony Fashion Fair put on the best of what was out there, up-and-coming designers focusing on African American and black designers in general. This piece, I believe, is an Italian designer. The label is missing, but it is an extremely strong statement and something I can absolutely see Janet Jackson wearing. On the rack, we have everything from Junya Watanabe piece, which is a swallowtail kind of coat. And she wore a lot of McQueen. So these pieces that we pulled have a strong reference and similarity to Alexander McQueen. This is also a Watanabe piece. The skirt has a great cut of many pieces done on the bias. And actually, if you saw the jacket that I was oohing and eyeing over at the preview, this cut is actually very similar to the cut of that piece. Then we actually have one McQueen piece, which is somewhat bondage because of the lacing, and it's a skirt and a bustier. And then when you think about a lot of the clothing that she wore was revealing her beautiful figure. She had a very petite body and tended to expose her midriff. And we pulled a few things, either bustiers. This is a piece that was Ungaro, beautiful draping on that. And then this is also this is an Oscar de la Renta, and it's a black lace over satin. It's not a print. But, you know, when you're trying to exhibit things that are bodycon. She wore streetwear so beautifully. And in a twist to streetwear, she would mix luxury fabrics and details with the streetwear clothes that she wore. In fact, we have one example. This is Sarli, an Italian couturier. It's a pinstripe fabric that's beaded on the bodice, which is more of a cropped tabard. Okay, tabards typically go longer, and so it's open, and then these luxe pants, which is indicative of things that she wore as well, because she liked things to be flowy and full. But really kind of eccentric streetwear. This is an early Diane phrase. And she's known for her polyester pleats, but this is done in the 70s, and was only able to find one other piece that's similar to this that is in the collection of the LA County Museum. I love eccentric pieces. If you watch this series, this channel, you know. And then I'll show you high-waisted, oversized, very typical of Janet Jackson, and things with unusual details. This is Heider Ackerman, and it has the zipper which goes all the way from the front up to the back and over the shoulders on the left side. And, you know, I mentioned that she liked to wear things that were flowy, and this Anne de Meulemeester, it's a two-piecer. It's a vest and this, it's a rectangle fabric that is shaped in a way that it drops, and it's a pretty incredible piece. You have to have some height to wear it. It would look ridiculous on me. But I can totally see her wear this. But then man-tailored, things that actually, this is a man's jacket actually, but it reminds me of Michael, and I know she's worn things like this as well. You know, when I did the research just before starting this episode, all the articles that you come across that mention Janet Jackson and fashion really speak of her as a fashion icon. And there's many articles which we'll make reference to in the description of this episode that show her chronology of evolving in the fashion world. Her taste, having the gift of seeing her pieces at the auction house, her taste level, you know, you can you can buy whatever you want when you're at that point, but that doesn't mean you necessarily have good taste. She had and has awesome taste. We tried to replicate some of it, like with these boots, which are never been worn. They're Dirk Bickenberg, and also these incredible Ralph Lauren shoes that are extremely skinny stilettos, but they're Oxfords, but a modern take on them. And then, of course, the costume jewelry. She had, in her early days, in the 80s, she wore a lot of Wendy Gale pieces, which we have exhibited here as well. And she played around with things that were, you know, she had a goth period, and Mike picked a selection of things that could have been worn by Janet. But I have to tell you, we have a very special show-off for this episode, and that'll be coming up momentarily. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the pieces. We are going to have a lot of these items on our website available for purchase, and it'll be in the new arrivals section. And as always, if you are not subscribing to our YouTube channel, please do so if you enjoyed this. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, because that helps helps the recommendations so that people get more of an opportunity of referral to our channel. So don't go away yet. We're going to come right back with the show off, and I know you'll be very happy to see what it is. So hang in there. So you might be wondering what the show off is. Well, I'll tell you, in 2006, Well, actually, when we first opened in LA in 2004, we used to do a lot of work with stylists, specifically looking for items for magazine shoots. Well, in November, December of 2006, Hollywood Life featured a story on Janet Jackson, and she wore this gown, fully credited on the page. And it's not a look-alike, it's the actual gown that Janet Jackson wore in this photo shoot. So, you know, we have a lot of celebrity associated garments from magazine shoots as well as actual film and TV productions. But this is definitely one of our better pieces. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's 1980s, hand-beaded with this kind of mosaic cut out in strategic places. And it's really a beautiful, beautiful gown. We hope that we are giving you content that you enjoy, and we appreciate any comments or suggestions that you might have, and we will eventually get to it. So thank you very much. I really appreciate your support, your warm thoughts for my healing, and look forward to seeing you next time. Okay? Bye.